What's up, people? What's going on here? Facebook. Make sure that we are live and that it is working. Alrighty. If you can hear me, if you can see me, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Tell me hi. Tell me where you're at. What's up? Familiar faces, familiar names. How's it going, everybody? This is your first time with us tonight, go ahead and let me know it's your first time, right where you're watching from, viewing from, what plan you're on, yada yada. What's up, everybody? I hope you guys grabbed a cup of coffee, cup of tea, cup of water, diet soda, let's be real, anything you want, and get this going for us to have a great night. This is going to be a super great live that we have tonight. We have Ashley, one of our iTrackBites users. She has lost over 80 pounds on iTrackBites Carb Conscious, and I am ready for her to get on here and show us like the support, y'all. Like, I'm super excited to get to know her better. If you don't follow her on Instagram, she is Ashley_loses_it, I believe. Ashley loses it. And Ashley, if you are watching tonight, go ahead and check your Facebook Messenger. I sent over a link. There you are. You're in the background. I can see you. All right, everybody. So my name is Jordan Clyde from Clyde's Daily Life. I am one of your iTrackBites ambassadors, weekly live host. Y'all, before we get started real quick, let me talk to you guys about my coffee. I know everybody sees my coffee. My aunt last weekend, 2 weekends ago, went to a birthday party for my nephew or for my little cousin, and she had a whole bunch of these K-Cups. They're chocolate mocha. They are delicious. But I'm like, I don't have a Keurig no more. I gave up my Keurig and went with a Ninja. So I was just like, you know what? Open these up, do it. And that's what I've been drinking, y'all. Like, chocolate mocha, it's bomb. Put in some creamer in here, we're good to go. So, alrighty. Any newbies on here tonight? If you are, super excited for you to let me know. Y'all, I decided that instead of hearing me blabbing for the whole entire hour, I tried to do the last half with the guests, but I think, honestly, we're going to get right into it because I feel like we run out of time, and I feel like there's so much good information. Man, we should really do a podcast or something because we could go longer than an hour or a half an hour, but we are here tonight, and let me see. In the comments, y'all are posting comments on here. Newbie from Ohio, Tanya, welcome. Ooh, okay, let's see. Alyssa, I think. Elk City, Oklahoma. iTrackBites Carb Conscious. I'm on maintenance, lost 60 pounds. Welcome. Awesome. Love it when I see maintenance people. Always gets me inspired. Returning newbie, there's nothing wrong with that. Let's see. Alrighty. I know it says error real quick. Let me see. 3 weeks down. Returning newbie. Y'all, if there's anything you know about me, my thing always... Okay. Seems to be going in the background. My internet out here in the boonies suck, y'all. And I apologize. So, and I talk a lot and I get awkward sometimes, and that's just how it is, right? So, alrighty. Let me see any more comments on here. Yada yada. Super excited. First live meeting, Virginia. Recently changed plans of keeping keto. Welcome. First time watching live. Awesome. Yes, the points are like WW to Catherine, newbie from New York. Ooh, Krista, let's pop you up on here. 3 weeks in, down 5.5. Husband and sister also doing it too. From Indiana. Krista, you are from Indiana? Where at in Indiana? Northwest Indiana here. Holla. Rensselaer, Indiana. You close to me? That's awesome. Super cool that your husband and your sister do it. You know, my sister does it too. My wife does. It's a family affair for us too here. Melissa, do not worry. Quarantine makes us all gain weight. I'm sorry. I meet just a few that haven't. That's it. So don't worry about that. Margie, let's pull you up. You're new here, third week from Illinois, lost 5 pounds, taking it slow. Awesome, awesome. Congrats, congrats. Lifetime members are on here. I see y'all. Hello, Tennessee. Lafayette. Yes, we're literally only like 45 minutes away. Once social distancing is done, do a meetup. Alrighty, so all right, let me see if it's going to be working out right. Alrighty, so trying to see because Ashley's screen on my end is she has stopped moving, so I'm hoping that this will work right. So without further ado, the real reason we're here tonight, let's get to know Ashley. Let's welcome Ashley. It is super awesome to have her on here. I have been a follower of hers for a while, ever since I found her when she became one of our iTrackBites stars that was featured on our Instagram pages. And I just seen her again, and I follow her journey, follow her stories, all that stuff. So without further ado, let us welcome Ashley Loses It. All right.
Hi.
Yep. Ashley, are you there?
I am. Can you hear me?
Hello, hello.
Hi.
Oh, let me turn on my music. Let me turn on my volume so I can hear you. What's up? What's up? Hello.
Hi.
So I'm guessing that you're like on Pacific time because it is daylight out still?
Yes. My husband tried to turn on the lamp and I was like, no, it's still bright outside. We're
Like
good.
literally real quick, this is how it is in Northwest Indiana. Ready? It's night. It's 8:36 my time.
It is 6:30 and sunny.
When I asked you to be on, you were like, "Hold up, let me figure out what time that is." A lot of people that I interview are on Eastern time, so it's even later. So 6:30 is there you go. You know what I mean?
6:30 is perfect.
Yes, yes. Let's see. Okay, so welcome. I know that you've been with iTrackBites for a little over a year now on the Carb Conscious plan. Super excited for your progress. Yeah, it's just this is going to be a good night. I want you to take as much time as you want. Really get to tell us everything. Tell us from the beginning, even if we have to go a long ways back. We all have that backstory about how we've tried to lose weight before, all that stuff, which I'm sure. But introduce yourself. Let us know who you are, where you're from, family, yada yada.
Well, I'm Ashley, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm 25. I'm from Oregon. That's why it's so sunny here. Let's see. I wrote down notes because I was nervous, so I think I'm going to actually use them.
Oh, cool.
But I guess like my history with weight loss, I was, in high school, the girls, we always think that we're fat. There was a point when I started to see the memories pop up on Facebook, and I was like, oh gosh, if only I was as fat as I thought I was back then. Oh dear. Because
my wife does the same thing. Don't worry.
Because in college, I moved in with this family, and the mom, she was an incredible cook. So I started putting on some pounds. Then I started dating my now husband, who opened my eyes to the fact that fast food was a thing, and we would go out to a lot of dinners, and I ate at home a lot less. And in college, I just put on a lot of weight. So that's kind of where the weight gain began, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But any attempt at losing weight also started then. It was like, I'd say, hey, Tim, husband, boyfriend, hey, I want to lose weight. And he would put me through this awful like circuit training at 7 a.m. in his garage. And I questioned our relationship.
Was he like skinny mini, never have to deal with a lot, all that stuff?
Oh yeah, he's very athletic,
it's always easier like that.
Yeah. So it was always like, here, let's run around my apartment complex and let's, we're going to work out. And it was awful. Yep. I questioned our relationship every one of those days. It's okay. It worked out.
Yeah.
But that was those were my attempts. Or I would say, I'm not going to eat sugar this month, or I'm not going to drink soda this year. Or I worked at Taco Bell. That did not help.
Taco Bell's my middle name, y'all. Like Taco Bell's my middle name. Love Taco Bell.
Yeah, working at Taco Bell was a major detriment to anything we were doing to try to fix the problem.
Yeah.
But the first time I had any real success with actually losing weight was probably 2-3 years ago. And I just was counting calories and walking. I lived in a really small town on the Oregon coast, like
Yeah.
less than 2,000 people. There wasn't really a gym. There wasn't a grocery
Yeah.
store. So it was,
Really.
I had to do something easy, and it was
Yeah.
walking the dog and counting calories. And at that time, in about 6 months, I lost 25 pounds. And then at Christmas time, decided, oh, I'll take a break. And then
Yeah.
I gained back 30 pounds. And then didn't ever
Happens.
go back to it. But how I ended up with, I guess, iTrackBites is I'd had a friend who, I don't even know how we ever started talking about it. But every so often, she would bring up what she was doing, which was iTrackBites. Or I'd reach out and be like, hey, what was that thing that you said you do that works so good?
Yeah. I'm thinking about doing it.
Yeah. And I just never looked into it beyond, oh, what's that thing? Because I know that Weight Watchers and iTrackBites are kind of similar, or very similar, I guess. And I had so many family members do Weight Watchers for so long. And the idea of counting the points and stuff just seemed stressful to me. So,
gotcha. Hey, just to let you know, if you see the screen go to just you, for us to record on Instagram, I'm going to go in the background. So if I'm going to ask something, I'll just come back up and be like, hey, here we go, it's me. If not, it's totally you, just because you can only see so much on the Instagram screen, okay? So keep on going. This is great.
Okay. So anyway, I had a lot of family members that did Weight Watchers while I was growing up, and I was so young that I honestly don't know if they were successful with it or not, but I saw how stressful it was for them to try to figure out points for every barbecue we had or whatever, and I just didn't want something that had to be, I almost felt like it was going to be a crutch if I did something like Weight Watchers. I wanted to be able to do something that I would have success with long term. So I think every time that friend was like, oh yeah, remember iTrackBites is kind of like Weight Watchers. That's when I kind of was like, oh, okay, well maybe, never mind. But about a year ago.
Question real quick. Yes. So when you were doing calorie counting, a lot of our users actually have been switching over from, say, Carb Conscious Points Plus to more counting calories.
Yeah.
What was counting calories like for you? Because a lot of people that are on here, if you are new, Calorie Command is one of our plans and programs on the iTrackBites app. So if you're in the mood or thinking about counting calories, you don't need to use like MyFitnessPal or anything like that. We have a totally good platform with iTrackBites for Calorie Command. So how was that to you when you were, before you started counting bites?
I used MyFitnessPal because that was what I looked up. And it went good. Part of my story is I didn't know a lot about nutrition or nutrients or anything. So looking up calories on the back of a package was really easy. Because you didn't have to look at any of the other numbers. So it was pretty simple. And part of the reason I ended up actually on Carb Conscious is because when I was counting calories, I told myself I needed to eat more fruits and vegetables. So I never counted the calories of fruits and vegetables. And on Carb Conscious, most fruits and vegetables are free points. So it kind of made sense in my brain that, oh, I didn't count these before. And I still don't have to count them as an actual number. So it was an easy switch in my brain. Does that answer your question?
That makes perfect sense. So right now we are done with calories. You've been talking to your friend about iTrackBites, yada, yada. Go from there.
Yeah. So about a year ago, my husband and I moved back into the city from that tiny town on the coast. We now live in the capital of Oregon, which is a lot bigger. And I was just ready for a change. We were back in the area that we were living in when we were dating. And so I rejoined the same gym that I had been a member at when he and I were dating, because I remembered I really liked Planet Fitness. So I had rejoined the gym, and I figured, hey, it's a good time to maybe focus on my health again. I had some success a few years back with the calories, and I don't remember what clicked or what the thought process was. But one night I was home alone. My husband was playing board games with his brothers, and I messaged that friend again and I was like, "What's that thing that you do?" And she was like, "Oh, it's iTrackBites." And I just went and downloaded the app, and I paid for Pro. And I've never put money into my health, if that makes sense. Only like a gym membership, but never like I've never put money into the nutrition side of it. I've always just I don't know. I don't know how to explain it.
No, and that makes perfect sense on the money aspect. And I always try to let people know. I understand sometimes coming up with the $36 upfront kind of seems like, oh wow, $36, yada yada. But then when you're talking about paid memberships to things like Noom, WW, I mean, even
Yeah.
if you go on MyFitnessPal to unlock more features, all that stuff, you're going to pay for a membership for that too. So really the $35.99 one-time fee. And hey, when we run awesome sales and you haven't been a pro member and you're like, hey, I'm going to go to pro for like $15.99, it's going to redo it like that. So that's like an awesome thing.
Yeah.
So definitely putting money into your weight loss journey seems scary at first, but then it keeps you going.
Yeah, so that's I think part of the reason I had some success with it is I paid for it, and my husband and I, we really didn't have the money at the time. Like, we had just moved here. I didn't have a job. Um, he was working a kind of inconsistent painting job, so I was a little nervous when he got home. I was like, "Hey, by the way, I bought this app, $36. Hopefully, I'll lose some weight." And he was like, "Okay, cool, proud of you." So I was like, "Okay, great," um, which was a nice reaction to have. He's always really supportive of this process and the things I try to do to better my health. So, and actually, this friend of mine also told me about another group she was part of on Facebook. I think some of you are probably part of it, the Bernie and Judy Living and Losing with Points. So I went and joined that group. That's all I knew of at the time. That one, and I had the iTrackBites app, and I just started. Like, I think that next morning I just started tracking my day. I decided I wasn't going to do anything special. I was just going to track what a normal day would look like, normal Ashley day. And then I went, oh my, I have some changes to make because that I used a lot of points. So that's how I ended up here. That's the beginning.
That's totally awesome though. Like, I feel like sometimes we always look at people, influencers, people on Instagram, on YouTube, that always when they start their journey, there's always something that clicks with them. And so, like, it always seems like, you're doing something, you're by yourself, you tell yourself a million times, say, I'm going to do it. And then it's just like, what was that clicking moment? Like, you were talking to your friend, you're like, hey, this is it. Like, was there anything that night or coming up to that time that really was like your aha, like, it's now or never? Like, I'm ready to do it. You've done it in the past, but we're going to do a different, try of it. What was it different this time to get you started back on it besides just curiosity from like your friend, like, hey, I'm ready?
Right. People have asked me that question a lot, and I never feel like I have a good answer. But I feel like it was a culmination of a few things. Moving back from the coast, I was not in a great space mentally. So I was kind of just ready for a change overall. My stepmom was also, she was really sick. She was near the end of her battle with cancer. There was a lot of stuff just going on in life. And I think whether I knew it or not, I was just ready for something that I could maybe have. Um, so And when I put the money on it, knowing I didn't really have the money to be spending on something like this, I kind of had to follow through. I think that was it.
Yeah, totally. No, I love that, honestly. Trying to think of where, like, I'm answering questions in the background and Instagram and all that stuff, so pardon me. But so now we are going into, you got the app. You're ready to go. You joined the iTrackBites participants Facebook page. You're just really like, I'm getting into this. I'm doing it. What happened? Like, what? Like, what got you to, so what are you doing now? You download the app, you chose Carb Conscious. What now? What's going on?
I just started tracking my food. I scanned the foods, I entered the foods, I asked the questions in the iTrackBites participants group and the Bernie and Judy offshoot one, and asking questions because I knew I didn't know all the things. But one of the things that I did differently this time is I didn't do anything special. Like I didn't go buy a bunch of fat-free things. I just went, all right, I don't have the money, obviously. So I'm just going to go with what's in my cupboard and see how we can make this work. And started to pick up tips and tricks along the way from people's posts and stuff online. And I realized really quickly, like, I just couldn't take a day off from this. And it was nice that it kind of I think having a week time span with the points helped me to focus, where if I had a bad day, I just needed to make it till Friday and then it starts over. I think that is one of the things that's helped me be successful, is knowing that just a bad day or a bad meal or something that doesn't go right, if I just make it to Friday or whatever day you picked as your end of the week, then it all starts over again. Yeah.
Got it. So like your so you've been doing it for pretty much a year. You hit your 1 year mark pretty soon, like pretty
Last week, yeah.
recently. So my thing is, like, from doing it for like 365 days straight, you're just like, I have to do this. I can't just skip a day. So you didn't skip a day. So what obstacles did you have going around, especially when you first started? Like, because of course, it always seems like for me, I'm like, all right, y'all, get back on track. We're doing it. And then my wife calls me and was like, hey, we have a graduation party on Sunday, fried chicken, walking tacos, etc.
Some of those obstacles, I guess. Can you ask your question one more time?
Yes, and don't worry, I ramble all the time. So when you first started, you're doing it, you're like, I can't take a day off. I'm literally doing it for the rest of my life. What got you going? Were there obstacles when you first started? Because for me, like when I had my first weight loss journey in 2016 and got down to goal, I would be like, oh, I'm taking on Sundays, didn't track, stayed within my dailies Monday through Saturday, didn't track on Sunday. Like, did you do that? Or were you faithful, like, nope, Monday through Sunday, like literally doing this, resetting weeklies, yada yada?
Definitely tracked every day, Monday through Sunday. At first, I didn't want to use any of my weekly points. I think I was kind of scared of them. But only more recently, probably in the last 3 or 4 months, comfortable using them. Kind of when I realized I probably wasn't eating enough. But one of the biggest I came right away is, I think it was within a week or two after starting, my husband and I, we were youth pastors and we were running a summer camp like 2 weeks after I started. I don't cook at that summer camp. My mother-in-law cooks at that summer camp, and she cooks amazing food at that summer camp. Not salads, not baked chicken. So I had to figure out I tracked every single meal for 4 or 5 days at that summer camp, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and the snacks. And I think being able to do it, crossing such a big, prolonged obstacle so early in, was an indicator to me that this could be done long term. Even if I didn't get to sit down and like track the meal like as it was happening and I had to go run with kids somewhere right afterwards, like I could take a break later and be like, oh, okay, I had garlic bread and I had spaghetti, and write down all those things. But I tracked every meal that week and I somehow did it. Yeah.
That's awesome. No, I feel like for any newbie here, anybody that is watching tonight or watching few days, few weeks on this live, is that's one of the things that we all struggle with. I know that's one thing that I struggle with, even as an ambassador. I'm sure I know Brianna's on here, Rachel's on Instagram, Lisa, iTrackBites, head coach is on here too. I feel like we all struggle with that sometimes, is that we get to where we're doing great and we think we're going to do great, and then obstacles come up. Now, I haven't had something where I'm gone for like 4 or 5 days or a week or whatever, but it's still on the thing of, like, I remember my wife's grandmother a year ago great grandmother passed away like a year and something ago. And I was really down. I think it was like fall of last year. I was down to pretty much goal weight again. And by the way, spoiler alert, I've lost weight 2 times already, and this is my third time. Hey, it is what it is. We're human. But I remember last year I was doing so good with tracking. I literally did you like so many streaks of doing it. And I went to that funeral and went to the dinner, and I'm just like, okay, here we go. We're going to try this out. And I remember getting done with it and being like, yes, I can do that, but it's still hard. And just the fact that you did it, like, because for me, when I first lost weight the first time, I was very anal about it. So I was very like, I had to stay within my bites every day. Like I had to do this and do that. Like I will. The story I always tell is like my mother. She has CHF now, but way back in the day, Mother's Day, like 2016, she got rushed to the hospital with like stroking blood pressure and all this stuff. And I remember like my dad and wife and all that stuff went to like Golden Corral, and I was almost at goal, and I was like, nope, can't do it. I don't know how to track it. Don't know what the points are. Don't know what the bites are. I'm literally. I then went to McDonald's and got a Southwest salad by myself with my newborn in the back of the car, and they went to dinner. And it's like, and I feel like sometimes us newbies think that that's how we have to be.
Right.
So my next question to you is, how was it you tracked those meals at the summer camp? How hard was it? Like, how hard was it to, once again, like, let us know? Did you like look up in the app and like the guides or on the search bar being like garlic bread? And you're just like, hey, garlic bread says it's 4 bites, 5 bites, etc.
Yeah, at that point, I wasn't like weighing my food at home yet, so I had no idea what 4 grams of garlic or an ounce of something. So, like I said, like 2 weeks in. So, honestly may have overestimated or underestimated severely. But I did searched everything. Like I remember us having tacos, got the low carb tortillas that I had found. And so I knew how to enter those. But as far as like the beef and the cheese and everything else, it was, well, I had this much and I probably had about this much. And it was all estimating, but I did it. It may not have been fantastic or accurate, but I did my
So,
best, to be honest. I can't hear you. I
can you hear
don't
me
know
now?
why I can't hear you. Yes.
Okay. So isn't it crazy how we honestly figure out that a lot of this journey is mental, is honestly mental clarity, like everything that
Yes.
has to do with us as a person. We get the tools, but we have to do it. And so my thing is like with hearing that from you, we don't think about everything else going around. You don't think about, hey, 10,000 steps a day gives me so many activity bites that you're probably not using. Gives me so many calories that you're not eating back, stuff like that. You don't think about how, especially being at a summer camp, think about how many calories that you burn at that summer camp, to where instead of being like super strict on, I have to count this exactly or I'm not going to do it, you just had the mental clarity of, listen, I'm having tacos. I found out tacos was this many points. I'm counting it. I'm moving on, but that made you succeed because you went another day with tracking. It might not have been
Right.
precise, but that's where we're kind of at with it, correct?
Yeah. Yeah. Just being able to get through that week and then at home, then, going back home, it was easier to control again, what I'm doing. At that time, like I said, we were youth pastoring. So every Sunday we were driving back over to that tiny town on the coast for about a couple weeks after I started. And my mother-in-law, again, amazing cook, was making us lunch and dinner. And I was, again, I have no idea how to track this, but I would be like, oh, she made a casserole. Let's look up casserole in the app. And I would just try my best. But it's sometimes you just kind of have to try your best.
Yeah. So okay, so we are now at the summer camp. So summer camp's over with. You're back home.
Yes.
Where are you at weight wise? Like how much weight have you lost? What goes on from there? Do you remember that?
I have no idea. I remember coming home and weighing myself. I do remember this. I remember coming home and weighing myself and being so proud that I lost weight. I do remember that. Um,
That's
I just
awesome.
don't remember how much.
So did you like I'm trying to think. So you get all this stuff done and it's like it's keeping you going. You lost weight. I know I really understand that of being like it was the worst week of my life, but somehow when I stepped on the scale, I was a half a pound down,
Yeah,
and I'm like, Lord, I'll take it. Jesus, thank you so much. You
right.
know what I mean? And you keep going. So when exactly in your journey did you finally feel like I'm gonna succeed in this? Because honestly, bravo to you for over 80 pounds down. Because like you're on your way to goal. You know what I mean? You're on your way to the lifetime status. We don't have lifetime status, but it's going to be a good thing of knowing to go into maintenance. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that is the goal for you, and you're so close to it right now. So my thing is, when all the way up to 80 pounds now, did it really sink in? That's like, wow, this is working. I'm doing it. I'm being successful. I'm literally rocking.
Um, I think when I got down to the weight that I was at before I regained those calorie counted pounds back. So that was probably, I started at 250 pounds. So probably when I had lost the 30 pounds that I'd put on, so when I was like around 220, and I realized, oh my gosh, I've kind of reset myself. I'm back, you know? Or I started at 255. So when I was at 220, yeah. And I was like, this is, if I can keep going from here, it's all new weight, all new pounds that are lost at this point. I have no idea when that was. Probably, I want to say maybe Christmas time. Maybe honestly before that, November. I don't know. I don't remember the time, but I remember that moment.
So when
I think
then?
that was
So
my
now,
doing this.
yeah, gotcha. So you're feeling strong, you're feeling awesome, you're like, damn, here we go. When was it that you started feeling like your close friends and family were starting to see the results? You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, you're stepping on the scale every week. Man, I'm down 15 pounds. You know what I mean? They always say it takes so long before like your close friends and family see it. Of course, your husband's gonna see it. You know what I mean? So like, same thing with me. Like as soon as I lose 5 pounds, my wife's like, "Wow, you can tell you lost weight." You know what I mean? All that stuff. So like, when exactly
Yeah.
did seeing it from your friends and your family, especially with being a traveling, you know, youth minister, stuff like that.
Right.
When I'm guessing you went there every Sunday. So after how long was it that people were now seeing you different? Like, wow, you're looking great.
Well, I started iTrackBites mid-July, and our last Sunday at that church pastoring was the end of July, so they only saw me for like 2 weeks. So honestly, most of them have only seen pictures. But as far as friends and family that see me more regularly, I remember. So I started in July. I remember in November we went on a little family trip to the coast with my in-laws, and I remember my father-in-law, who's the sweetest man in the world, just looks at me and he's like, "You've lost a lot of weight," and it just made my day. Because I mean, people had seen pictures and they've said things, or I've told them I've been losing weight, but that was the first time that somebody really just out of nowhere was like, "Wait, I see a difference." So that's when November.
That's pretty. That's pretty funny. So when exactly did Instagram come along? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
when were you further into your journey? Was it like, hey, I'm starting to lose weight. Let me do an Instagram account to track my progress. Yada yada.
The Instagram account I actually have had since I did calories because I have someone in my life who also has an Instagram account for her weight loss, and I asked her when I was doing calories, I said, "Hey, did this help you?" And she said it did. So I started one, but I kept it private, and only like friends and family were on it. But when I stopped counting calories, I actually got locked out of the account, and I didn't know how to get back in. And then when I started iTrackBites, I figured, well, I'll resurrect this account and start tracking my progress again. But it really was just for me. Like, it was supposed to be an open, kind of an open journal for myself to look back and see my progress and the victories and the failures and the weigh-ins and all those things. So I kept it on private, and I started to look for other people who were doing iTrackBites or the Weight Watchers Points Plus, people who were doing exactly what I was doing. And then I realized they were really inspiring me with their journeys. And I thought, what's the harm with making my Instagram public? And I probably made it public a month or two in to doing iTrackBites. I'm not sure. I'm obviously really fuzzy on my timelines, but it's been around for a while.
I'm sorry, you probably can't hear me in the background, but I'm laughing at this. So this is one thing that I try to preach to all of our members is literally don't be afraid to get on social media with your weight loss. We have so much community support on Instagram. We have so much community support on Facebook. I'm not really active on the Facebook part of our iTrackBites family, stuff like that. I'm more on the Instagram part, but there's so much. And I always tell people, like, even if, like, don't be afraid if you're private but find public accounts with people that are your people, and you said before with like Points Plus Carb Conscience, I remember way back in the day when I first lost my weight, it was when everything went to Smart Points. And so I was still the old person doing Points Plus, and no one was doing it anymore. So then you're like, all right, I'm kind of by myself. And then I would find other people that were like, oh, hey, became friends on Instagram. But then they're like, oh, you're doing Points Plus, we're doing Smart Points or Freestyle, yada, yada. And it does get a little discouraging. But since coming to iTrackBites, and over a year ago, year and a half ago, it's been nothing but true support because our people here, this is the one thing that I will say. Our people here, and you know this, with iTrackBites, is we have so many different programs on here to where you have followers that aren't just carb conscious. You have followers that do calories. You have followers that do sugar smart. Like the community itself, we all do iTrackBites. We all have one main goal in mind, and that's to get healthy, whichever way we do it. And that's the inspiring thing with the app, and that's why we are so successful with the app, is because there's all of us on there. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not just like, oh, you're not doing freestyle or Better Balance. I'm not going to follow you. You know what I mean? Like, we're still, what's your weigh-in this week? Did you track today? Yada, yada. So that's awesome. And I always tell people, like I said before, get on social media. Even if you don't want to post your own stuff, get on social media. I have friends, honestly, in the weight loss community. I have friends that I talk to nonstop that they do not use their Instagrams other than watching stories because they have their 15, 20 members, 15, 20 weight loss people on iTrackBites that they watch every day. It's like their family. It's like the video chat that I want to see what they're doing today. Nothing wrong with that. And that's why I always tell people, if you're not comfortable posting pictures of yourself or posting meals, posting anything like that, like be there for the journey of stories because a lot of us do a lot of stories, to incorporate things. I know myself with my Instagram, I really lack on the feed. It's normally just stories for me because I'm lazy to take a picture and edit it, but you know how that is. So now you're in November, you went on your family vacation, your father-in-law's like, hey, you're looking great, you're losing a lot of weight. So where now does that take us?
Well, seeing as how when I did calories, I stopped counting them at the holidays, I decided not to stop at the holidays. That's where that took me. I had another family member that was wanting some weight, and she was like, "Oh, are you still like?" As we're at Christmas dinner, and I'm like, "Yep, still tracking." And it wasn't fun. Like I didn't enjoy counting how many rolls I was eating at Christmas, but I lost weight at Christmas, you know. So that's where that took me, as I made it through the holidays and didn't fall into the same trap that I did last time. Yeah.
So okay, so you're over that hump, you're over the holidays, you keep losing. So that was holidays of like 19,
Yes.
correct? Not like what just
Yeah.
happened.
Yes.
So you get into the new year, you're still losing weight, you're probably down probably 50-ish pounds, 60-ish pounds around there. And COVID happens.
Yeah.
COVID in March happened.
Yep.
Quarantine, staying home, no gym. I'm one of them. We live in a small town. There's really no gyms where I'm at either, so it's walk at home if I do anything. Where are we at? You know, because obviously, toot your own horn. You still lost weight during the quarantine, where a lot of people have gained weight during the quarantine.
Right.
What got you going? Like, where are you at now? Like, March happened. Damn, everybody's getting sick.
Right. Well, my job, I work in elementary school. So I'm used to being on my feet and being with kids and just generally being more active during the day. So suddenly having to sit in front of my computer and try to talk to children through a computer screen was not my favorite. So honestly, I started to take breaks and go on a walk with my dog just to clear my mind and get away from my computer. So during March, April, May, I walked so many miles. I didn't know my neighborhood very good. I know my neighborhood very, very well now. But honestly, that's what I did. I had to put my brain in the mode of I have to eat on a schedule like I did at school. Though I am not in a school building, I'm going to eat breakfast like I would in the morning. I'm going to eat lunch after this video call with this class. I'm going to eat a snack at this time after this video call with this student. And then, dinner at dinner time. I had to put myself on a schedule so I didn't snack the day away, because I did for the first week or two. And then those walks, I started walking a lot. That's kind of what got me through COVID.
Yeah, so now you've been crushing it. And your husband obviously has always been probably just athletic, well built, all that stuff. So my thing is, he obviously was encouraging to you, like every spouse is, hopefully.
It should be.
Yes. Uh, how did he help you through your journey? You know what I mean? Obviously, do you have kids, or is it just you and your husband?
It's just me and my husband.
Okay, so it's just you two. So he obviously has played a big role in this weight loss journey for you, because he's your sidekick. He's the one that's with you every day. I don't know what he does for work, if he was quarantined at home with work too, yada yada. But what inspiration did he give you? How did he help you with your journey from last year all the way through COVID now?
Honestly, he's just been 100% supportive. So if we were planning to go out to dinner and I go, "Hey babe, I don't have the bites or the points," he understands, and maybe we cancel, or I say, no, we'll go, but can we pick this restaurant instead? Because I know that I can get something different here. Like, maybe let's not do Red Robin. Can we go to the steak place and I can get chicken, or for a while he went to the gym with me a lot, until he got a construction job. Now he avoids the gym because he's exhausted. He's never complained about what I've cooked. He's tried all the recipes and the desserts. He's fairly athletic, but he's actually lost like 30 pounds himself just because of how we've changed our eating at home.
And he probably did not realize that he needed to lose that 30 pounds. You know what I mean? I was never one that I've been 13. Like, I literally, you could see my ribs until I was 13. And then when I hit puberty, it was just like double chin happened. Here we go. Always been like that. So he probably being athletic built, kind of on the average size, didn't really think that, oh, hey, these different habits are going to actually help me lose weight. And he probably feels 10 times better.
Oh yeah, he loves it. He loves that he's lost weight, and um, he's at the point now where I told him I was like, okay, so if you want to keep losing, now you have to try. Like it's not just gonna be what I cook at home. But he's been 100% supportive, and um, like the other day he came home with Ben and Jerry's light ice cream for me, which was really cute. Instead of going and getting us normal ice cream, which he would enjoy much more. But yeah, just 100% supportive, and luckily I have a good amount of drive and perfectionism within myself to not like need him to push me, but I do need the support, and like he's never encouraged me to not reach my goals, if that makes sense. Like he's never been like, oh, just have the fries, it's fine, like just blow your points. He's been great.
Gotcha. That's awesome. I know the one thing for me and my wife till the day I die is she never understands how I like my diet was horrible in 2016, but I somehow got down to goal weight. Literally, I would come home from working all day and eat a bowl of cereal with a Pop Tart at night. Like, I'm not joking. Like, my diet was not, and that honestly tells you how it's calories in and calories out. Like, how when you're eating the good foods that are making you full, lower bites, all that stuff, you then splurge. And I always did that. And that's what my wife hated. My wife's like, I could just look at the box of cereal that's in the cupboard and I gained 3 pounds that week.
Right, right.
You know what I mean? And so, but that's good to know that like he still supported you. And that's the one thing like with my wife right now is she's an avid baker. She's owned a cookie business before, all this stuff. So she is totally that person that she loves to cook, she loves to bake. And one thing is, we have 2 kids, one's 4, one's 6, and they are just a handful right now. But we're getting more into the wholer type foods because of our garden. We do have a very huge garden right now this year.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so like she just made lemon poppy seed, zucchini bread, all this stuff. But that's great to know that your husband was there for you, even though he wasn't doing the plan for you. And I feel like sometimes me and my wife are kind of opposite sometimes. Like either she's doing really good on it and I take a break, or I'm doing it and she takes a break, yada yada. We've only been a couple times like back to back with it.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think. So do you have other family now that is losing weight with you, that is using iTrackBites? Any friends locally, anything like that?
I have a lot of people who have asked me about it, and I've told them about it. I've tried to help them get it set up, help them get started. But one thing I learned early on when I really put a lot into helping somebody is that I can't drag someone across the finish line. Like I can encourage them and help them, but like I can't make you do this. So I have some people that have told me that I've inspired them to lose weight, and they are losing weight, not necessarily with iTrackBites, but yes and no.
So with because we only got about probably like 10 more minutes. See, this is why I said we're just going to go straight into it because
Perfect.
I don't know how I can cram it into 30 minutes. But where now you obviously have a gym because you're in the city, but like,
Yes.
what is your routine now? Like, I guess real quick before we go to the final question, and I always ask this at the very end of all of my interviews. But the question before the final question is, what is a typical day in your life right now for you? Like, what's your workout routine? Like, do you like, hey, I work out 3 times a week, I walk? What are we looking at as far as like, how are your meals set up? Like, how many bites a day do you get? Yada yada.
A typical day in my life. I've been trying to work out at the gym 3 times a week. I sat down with the trainer and came up with like a 3-day a week plan. I'm still kind of working into that. I have a lot of headaches, and I have a really bad sunburn, so I've working through some other things that are keeping me away from the gym, but that's what I'm trying to do is 3 days a week. And then the other, like 2 days a week, I would like to be walking or hiking or something because I enjoy being outside. It's just really hot here right now. In a day right now, I get 29 bites. In the morning, do you want to know what I eat? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, sure. Like, let us know. Or kind of give us like, what are your go-tos for like breakfast, lunch, dinner? You know, dinner, of course, is always something different for us. You probably have go-to breakfasts. Like, I normally eat these type of things for my breakfast, lunch.
For breakfast, a lot of times it's an egg, or I get those like the Fiber One protein bars. So if I'm not feeling an egg or I'm on the go, I grab one of those, and they're similar in points value. Lunch, I really like making what I call a grown-up lunchable. I'll cut up like cheese.
Yes, love that.
Yeah. So I cut up cheese and I weigh it all out, and what are they called? I don't know, like Ritz toasted thin cracker things, and lunch meat or turkey pepperoni or something. That's one of my favorites for lunch. And I can usually get that around like 7-ish bites, plus like fruit and stuff on the side to fill out the meal. Honestly, I have PB&J a lot because I am a child on the inside. Those are two of my lunches right now because it is so hot, and those are cold things. And then dinner, like you said, it's kind of just, I look in my cupboard and my freezer and go, what do I have?
I love that. Especially, I mean, it is easier, I'm not going to lie. When it was just me and my wife, it was totally easier because literally right now, there's some days where my wife will look at me after dealing with both kids. I've worked all day in healthcare management. We're just like, we're eating cereal. Like, that's how it is. Like, there's no need to cook tonight. Do me 2 servings of cereal with whole milk, and that's what I'm eating tonight. Count it, just do whatever. So, completely understand that. So, that's awesome. Love that you're not a like gym rat person. Like I feel like a lot of times I meet people on here on Instagram that are like I'm always at the gym. I'm always doing this, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like I I am thankful that people can do that. I can't do that with my schedule. And I know people on here are going to be like, "You can make time, Jordan." I completely understand that. But by the time I'm working, getting done with work, we're very active in our church. My dad's a pastor, and so we deal with that. We got a 4 and 6-year-old, the farm, all that stuff. It's very tiring. And one thing that I always did when I was, very good with getting active was Leslie's walk at home. And I always preach that about like, hey, get on YouTube, 15 minutes. You can get like 2,000 steps in. It's going to burn so much calories. You're going to feel great afterwards. So I love that you're not like, I go to the gym 6 times a week, rest on 7th, yada, yada. So thank you for being inspiring with that. That you can still lose weight without being a gym rat.
Right.
So this has been awesome. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. My final question that I always ask people is, when you first started, what is one thing that you wish somebody from the iTrackBites community or somebody just that has done this close to maintenance, has made it all the way through, would have told you? Kind of what's something you would like to tell somebody starting today that you wish somebody would have told you? It's a very tricky question, very hard. Think about it because you're going to inspire somebody when they watch this.
It doesn't have to be complicated. You don't have to take some magical trip to the grocery store and buy all of the quinoa and low carb salad dressing. Like, you can probably start with what's in your cupboard. It doesn't have to be complicated. Like, seriously, I told you I eat peanut butter and jelly for lunch sometimes. That's what I would say. It just doesn't have to be complicated.
That is one of the realest answers I've ever heard. And I've interviewed a bunch of people on here so far. I feel like that has been the number one thing with me with carb conscience is because it's nothing special. I don't need to go to the supermarket to get the sugar-free ketchup.
Right. Uh-oh.
And
Oh.
ketchup, if you're an OG original Points Plus person, ketchup is 0 bites. Ketchup is 0 points. And people on here try to tell me all the time, absolutely not. And I will go to my kitchen in my cupboard and I have my original Points Plus book. And on the 0 point condiments, it says mustard and ketchup. So it is
I
what it
never
is.
count ketchup.
Never count ketchup. And people all the time get mad at me. They're like, you have to count ketchup. It's sugar. It's this and this. And
Uh-oh.
I'm so it's 0 point. um, but that is literally the realest answer. You can literally go to your cupboard, whether you are at the lowest bites, whether you're at the highest bites. You literally are just like, okay, so I'm gonna have peanut butter and jelly. Well, obviously, before I would do 2 scoops of peanut butter on my sandwich. I can just do one. Still have a satisfying craving. Have the carbs. Feel great. Have chips. Guess what? You're actually going to find out that 4 ounces of chips in a serving is actually a lot of chips.
So
Like
many
you're
chips.
yes, so you're literally like, wow, how much food was I actually eating before? Because when you do it and you do a sandwich, chips, and then something on the side, not even anything on the side, or just like a snack as far as like carrots. Like sometimes I would
Right.
do, deli lunch meat with some chips and carrots or stuff like that. Like by the time you're done, you're literally full and it was only 10 bites. Like
Right.
it's not going and being like, I got to get the bird's eye frozen section at the grocery store, get smart ones, get this and that. It's literally just like, what do I got? And fill up on coffee. That's how I did it.
I mean,
Always.
there was, if I have 1 second, there was
Yeah.
a gap in the middle where my husband and I, just to be really honest, made enough barely to pay our bills and buy groceries and gas. Like there was no extra dollars. So it was rice, chicken, frozen vegetables. Like you don't have to have a ton of money to do this. You don't have to buy fancy things. That is like my mantra.
And thank you for that because I feel like me and my wife, like I feel so real because like my wife and I literally we owned a family business for 5 years before I went back to healthcare and we lost pretty much everything. Like I had to default on so much. I paid it all off. Praise be to God. I have paid my lenders off, but I will
Yay!
never forget that to where it came to the fact of we either pay this credit card or we don't have groceries for our 1 and 3-year-old. And so I completely understand that.
Right.
That was in the 2016 part where I lost my weight because I didn't have to spend $200 a week on groceries. It was literally like my wife budgeted like $60 a week, and we went and we figured it out. It was a lot of hamburger helper,
Yep.
but by God, guess what? You can even have hamburger helper without the hamburger. We had to do it plenty of times. But so I love that. Thank you for being real. Thank you for being real with
Yeah.
that because it's not something that you need to go out and spend. Now, here's my thing. If you find that you can afford it and you want to go and get a whole bunch of groceries to start and you feel like that's what it's going to take to push you in the right gear, there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean?
Go for it.
I find sometimes if I am in the grocery store and smart ones are on sale for 5 for $10, $2 a piece, I'll probably pick up 5. You know what I mean? And keep them in the freezer and take them to work. But it's not rocket science.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, that is it. Thank you, Ashley. This was
Thank you.
awesome. Tell all your friends and family. It will repost again on YouTube and Instagram, or YouTube and Facebook. I'm not for sure on Instagram yet, but they can check all this out. I know you had some friends that weren't able to join tonight, and that's really fine. It's always replayable. So once again, thank you so much. If you need anything from me, just holler at me. Always know I'm in the background watching your journey. And this was great. This was fun, and thank you for allowing us a look inside your weight loss journey.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It was fun.
All right. You're welcome, Ashley. All right, guys. Jordan Clyde here from Clyde's Daily Life, your iTrackBites ambassador and live meeting coach. I am so excited that we were able to have a great sit-down discussion with Ashley Loses It on Instagram. She is very inspiring. She is awesome. 80 plus pounds lost, even during quarantine, guys. If you do not follow her on Instagram, it is Ashley_loses_it. Give her a look up, give her a follow. I do follow her, so if you go to my Clyde's Daily Life account, you go to my following list, you will find her on there. Guys, let me know on Instagram, send me a message on Facebook if anybody you think that we should interview next week or the week after that. Are you enjoying these interviews? Yada yada. Give us some feedback. But we are here tonight, and I am here. This was a great time, and I appreciate every single one of you for joining. And like I said, go ahead and sign off for the night. Enjoy the rest of your night. Like Ashley, if you're on Pacific Coast, you still got plenty of time. You're probably getting ready to eat dinner. So we will see you again next week with Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time over here